It was a breezy Saturday evening at a small park on the edge of Fairfield, Connecticut. The kind of evening where families gathered, kids kicked soccer balls, and teens lounged on benches, lost in their phones. 16-year-old Ethan Carter sat alone under a towering oak tree, waiting for his younger brother Lucas to finish soccer practice. Ethan had promised their mom he'd walk Lucas home. Dressed in a fitted navy suit, crisp white shirt, and polished black Suzanne outfit he'd worn for a school event earlier, he flipped through a novel, his face calm but focused. The distant rumble of motorcycles broke the park's tranquility, a sound that usually faded as riders passed through. But tonight, the engines didn't fade. They grew louder, closer, until 5 bikes rolled into the park. Parking near the soccer field, out the bikers, clad in leather jackets and dark jeans, stood out sharply against the backdrop of families and kids. They weren't laughing or joking. Their eyes scanned the park, settling on Ethan with a predatory intensity. Ethan glanced up, catching their stares. His stomach tightened, but he forced himself to stay composed, turning back to his book. His mom's words echoed in his mind. Never let them see you sweat. But the weight of their gazes was hard to ignore. The bikers didn't stay by their bikes. A tall, muscular man with a shaved head, clearly the leader, nudged his friend and strode toward Ethan, flanked by 2 others. Their boots crunched on the gravel path, their movements deliberate, their expressions unreadable but heavy with intent. Ethan's heart thudded, but he kept his face neutral, dog-earing his book and setting it aside. "What are you doing here, kid?" the leader asked, his voice rough and direct. Ethan paused, his eyebrows knitting slightly. "Waiting for my brother," he replied, his tone polite but firm. The man smirked, glancing at his friends. "This doesn't look like your kind of place," he said, his words carrying an unspoken challenge. Ethan's jaw tightened, but he held the man's gaze. "It's a public park," he said evenly. The leader's smirk vanished. "Got a smart mouth, huh?" he said, stepping closer. His friends spread out, forming a loose semicircle around Ethan. The park's families were distracted, focused on the soccer game wrapping up. Ethan scanned the area, hoping for a glance from someone, anyone, but the bikers had timed their approach well. His mind raced. Years of judo training had taught him to stay calm, observe, and react only when necessary. Fighting was a last resort, not a first. "Look," Ethan said, his voice steady, "I don't want trouble. I'm just here for my brother." The leader leaned in, his face too close. "Trouble? Who said anything about trouble?" he taunted, his tone low and mocking. Ethan felt the weight of their stares, the challenge in their posture. His hands rested loosely on his knees, but his body was primed, ready if needed. "Maybe you should show us what you've got," the leader sneered, his friends chuckling. Ethan didn't flinch. His eyes stayed locked on the leader, reading his posture, his breathing. Judo had taught him to anticipate intent, and these men weren't here to talk. The leader, expecting Ethan to back down, leaned closer, his shadow looming. "What's the matter, kid?" Scared, he taunted. Ethan exhaled slowly, calculating, motivated by discipline, not fear. "You don't want to do this," he said, his voice low and deliberate. The leader's laughter faltered, his friends exchanging confused glances. Ethan's calm confidence unnerved them. "You're not gonna do anything," one of the bikers said, stepping forward. But before he could act, the leader lunged, aiming to shove Ethan's shoulder. In a flash, Ethan shifted sideways with practiced precision, deflecting the man's wrist with a sharp twist. The leader grunted, stumbling back, pain flashing across his face. The other 2 bikers charged. The first swung a wild punch, but Ethan ducked, delivering a swift kick to the man's knee, sending him to the ground with a cry. The second hesitated, but Ethan pivoted, landing a spinning kick to his ribs, knocking the wind out of him. The leader, red with rage, lunged again, grabbing for Ethan's suit jacket. Ethan twisted free, striking the man's solar plexus with a precise blow. The leader gasped, staggering back. "Enough," Ethan shouted, his voice echoing across the park. His stance was strong, his expression resolute but devoid of malice. "I don't want to hurt you. Walk away." The bikers hesitated, the leader wheezing, his friends clutching their injuries. The crowd, parents, kids, soccer players gathered, some filming, others murmuring in awe. "Let's go," the leader growled, waving his friends to their bikes. As they roared off, he pointed at Ethan. "This ain't over, kid." The crowd applauded, their murmurs filled with admiration. Lucas, sweaty from soccer, ran up, eyes wide. "Ethan, are you okay?" he asked, trembling. Ethan knelt, placing a hand on his brother's shoulder. "I'm fine," he said, smiling. "Let's go home." They walked home in silence. Lucas, sneaking glances at Ethan, his expression a mix of awe and worry. "How did you do that?" Lucas finally asked. "They were huge." Ethan chuckled. "It's not about being bigger, Lucas. It's about being prepared, staying calm, and knowing when to act." Lucas frowned. "What if they come back? That guy said it wasn't over." Ethan stopped, facing him. "If they do, we'll handle it, but today wasn't about fighting, it was about standing up for us. Violence is the last option." At home, their mom, Sarah, waited on the porch, arms crossed, worry etched on her face. "You're late," she said. Ethan hesitated, then recounted the story honestly. Sarah's expression shifted from fear to pride, her eyes glistening. "I'm proud of you for protecting Lucas and yourself," she said. "But promise me you won't take risks like that unless you have no choice." Ethan nodded. "I promise." That night, Ethan lay in bed, replaying the encounter. The leader's words, "This ain't over," lingered, but he wasn't afraid. Fear only had power if you let it. He felt a quiet purpose. Courage and discipline could shift the balance in an unfair world. This wasn't just a test of his skills, it was a reminder that standing up for what's right was always worth it. Ethan's story is a testament to resilience and integrity. True strength isn't about size or intimidation, it's about knowing your worth and acting with purpose. Reflect on how you can stand up for yourself or others. And remember, courage isn't the absence of fear, but the will to do what's right despite it. Share this story with someone who needs a reminder of their inner strength. And stay tuned for more tales of courage and redemption.